Emma lived on Elm Street, a street known for its whispers. Not literal whispers, of course, but the kind that rustled through the leaves of ancient oaks and hid in the cracks of cobblestone sidewalks. It was a street full of secrets, and Emma, with her insatiable curiosity, was determined to uncover them all.
One crisp autumn afternoon, as the sun cast long shadows on the pavement, I found myself drawn to a peculiar sight. Tucked between a quaint bakery and a dusty antique shop was a narrow alleyway I had never noticed before.
It was as if it had appeared out of thin air, shrouded in an ethereal mist that swirled with the fallen leaves. Intrigued, Emma cautiously ventured into the alley, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear and excitement. The air grew heavy, filled with the scent of old parchment and leather. As she walked deeper into the shadows, the bustling street behind her seemed to fade away, replaced by an eerie silence that amplified the sound of her own breath.
At the end of the alley, nestled between towering brick walls, stood an ornately carved wooden door. It seemed ancient, its surface weathered by time and adorned with strange symbols that sparked a sense of wonder within my soul.
The door creaked open with a groan, revealing a sight that took Emma's breath away. The hinges, rusted with age, protested loudly, but Emma was undeterred. She had heard rumors of this place, whispers of a library that held secrets long forgotten by the world. Her heart raced with anticipation as she stepped inside. Before her stood a library unlike any she had ever seen. The grandeur of the place was overwhelming, with its high ceilings and intricate woodwork. Sunlight streamed through stained glass windows, casting colorful patterns on the floor. Emma felt like she had stepped into another realm, a place where time stood still. Towering shelves laden with countless books stretched as far as the eye could see, their spines whispering tales of forgotten lore. Each shelf seemed to hold a different era, a different world, waiting to be explored. Emma could almost hear the faint murmur of voices, the echoes of scholars and adventurers who had once walked these halls. The air was thick with the scent of aging paper, and a strange, almost magical energy thrummed through the air. It was as if the very essence of knowledge had been woven into the fabric of the library. Emma felt a tingling sensation on her skin, a sign that this place was special, that it held power beyond her understanding.
As I cautiously stepped inside, my fingers trailing along the spines of the countless volumes, I felt a sense of awe wash over me. Each book I touched seemed to hum with energy, as if it were alive. I could feel the weight of the knowledge contained within these walls, and it was both exhilarating and humbling. It was as if I had stumbled upon a hidden world, a sanctuary of knowledge concealed from the ordinary. The library seemed to stretch on forever, with nooks and crannies filled with treasures waiting to be discovered. I felt like an explorer in a vast, uncharted land, eager to uncover its secrets. Each book seemed to pulsate with its own unique energy, their pages holding untold stories just waiting to be discovered. Some glowed faintly as if imbued with a magical light, while others seemed to vibrate with a barely contained power. I knew that each one held a piece of the puzzle, a fragment of the greater story that this library told.
Her gaze fell upon a small, leather-bound book tucked away on a dusty shelf. It was almost hidden, as if it didn't want to be found. But Emma's eyes were drawn to it, and she felt a strange connection to the unassuming volume. Unlike the other books, its spine was unmarked, its cover plain and unassuming. It seemed out of place among the ornate and richly decorated tomes that surrounded it. Yet, there was something about its simplicity that intrigued Emma, something that called out to her. Yet something about it drew Emma in, a magnetic pull she couldn't resist. She felt as if the book was meant for her, as if it had been waiting for her all this time. The feeling was so strong that she couldn't ignore it, and she knew she had to see what secrets it held. As she reached out to touch it, a jolt of electricity seemed to pass between her fingers and the aged leather. The sensation was startling, but not unpleasant. It was as if the book recognized her, as if it was welcoming her touch. Emma's heart pounded in her chest as she lifted the book from the shelf. With trembling hands, she carefully lifted the book from the shelf and cradled it in her arms. It felt surprisingly heavy, as if it were filled with more than just paper and ink. Emma could sense the weight of its history, the importance of the knowledge it contained. She knew that this book was special, that it held answers to questions she hadn't even thought to ask.
As I brushed away the layer of dust that coated its surface, A title shimmered into view, as if written in moonlight, Emma's Adventure. The letters seemed to glow with a soft ethereal light, and I felt a shiver run down my spine. This was no ordinary book. It was a part of my story, a chapter of my life that I had yet to live. Below the title, etched in delicate script, was my name, written in a handwriting I recognized as my own. It was impossible, yet there it was, clear as day. I felt a mix of wonder and fear, knowing that this book held the key to my destiny. I took a deep breath and opened the cover, ready to embark on the adventure that awaited me.
A rush of dizziness washed over Emma as she traced her fingers over her name on the book's cover. She had always felt a strange connection to this book, as if it held secrets meant only for her. The letters of her name seemed to shimmer and dance under her touch, pulling her deeper into a trance. The library around her dissolved into a swirl of colors and light, the familiar rows of bookshelves, and the scent of aged paper fading away. It was as if the very fabric of reality was unraveling, making way for something entirely new and unknown. The musty scent of old books was replaced by the sweet fragrance of wildflowers. The air was fresh and invigorating, a stark contrast to the stale atmosphere of the library. Emma felt a sense of liberation, as if she had been freed from the confines of her everyday life. When she opened her eyes, she found herself in a meadow bathed in the golden glow of a setting sun. The sky was painted with hues of orange, pink, and purple, creating a breathtaking backdrop that seemed almost too beautiful to be real. She took a deep breath, feeling the warmth of the sun on her skin and the soft grass beneath her feet.
Towering trees, their branches heavy with ripe fruit, surrounded the meadow. The fruits were unlike any she had ever seen, with vibrant colors and shapes that seemed to defy nature. They hung tantalizingly from the branches, swaying gently in the breeze. Their leaves rustled in a gentle breeze, creating a soothing symphony of sounds. The rustling leaves seemed to whisper secrets, inviting her to explore the wonders of this magical place. A crystal-clear stream meandered through the tall grass, its waters sparkling in the fading light. The stream's gentle babbling added to the serene atmosphere, making Emma feel as if she had stepped into a dream. Its surface sparkled like 1,000 tiny diamonds, reflecting the colors of the sunset. She knelt down and dipped her fingers into the cool water, feeling a sense of connection to the natural world around her. The air hummed with the sound of unseen creatures, a symphony of life that filled the meadow. Birds chirped melodiously, insects buzzed, and the distant call of animals created a harmonious blend of sounds. A symphony of chirps and trills that filled me with a sense of wonder. Each sound seemed to tell a story, adding to the enchantment of the moment. Emma felt a deep sense of peace and belonging, as if she had finally found her true home.
As she took a hesitant step forward, the book fell open in her hands, its pages turning rapidly as if propelled by an invisible force. The words and images on the pages seemed to come alive, drawing her into their world, its pages turning rapidly as if propelled by an invisible force. The book seemed to have a life of its own, guiding her through its story with an urgency that she couldn't ignore. The illustrations within the book, once static images, sprang to life. Characters moved, landscapes shifted, and entire scenes played out before her eyes. It was as if she had been transported into the very heart of the story, transforming into three-dimensional scenes that mirrored the world around her. The boundary between reality and fiction blurred, leaving her unsure of where one ended and the other began. It was as if the book was not just telling a story, but becoming the story itself. The world within the pages expanded, enveloping her in its magic and wonder.
Suddenly, a small, furry creature with large, iridescent wings fluttered down from the branches of a nearby tree. Its wings shimmered in the light, casting a rainbow of colors around it, and landed softly on my outstretched hand. Its touch was gentle, almost weightless, and I could feel a faint warmth emanating from its tiny body. Its fur was as white as snow, and its eyes sparkled with an intelligence that belied its size. The creature's gaze was both curious and knowing, as if it held the wisdom of ages. With a series of chirps and gestures, it beckoned me to follow. Its movements were graceful and fluid, and I felt an irresistible urge to see where it would lead me. The creature seemed to be a guide, a guardian of this magical realm, and I knew that following it would reveal even more wonders.
The small creature, which Emma decided to call Lumi, led her on a winding path through the enchanted forest. The forest was alive with the whispers of ancient trees and the soft glow of bioluminescent plants that lit their way. Each step Emma took was filled with a sense of wonder and anticipation, as if the forest itself was guiding her towards a destiny unknown. The path was fraught with challenges, each more daunting than the last. The forest seemed to test her resolve, throwing obstacles in her way that required not just physical strength, but mental acuity and emotional resilience. Each turn presented a new puzzle or riddle to solve, crafted by the forest's ancient guardians. These riddles were not mere games, but lessons in disguise, teaching Emma about the balance of nature, the importance of wisdom, and the value of patience. Emma, her mind sharp and her spirit determined, faced each obstacle with a mix of courage and ingenuity. Her determination was unwavering, and with each solved puzzle, she felt herself growing stronger, more attuned to the forest's magic.
One moment I found myself standing before a towering wall of thorns, their sharp edges glistening menacingly in the dim light. The wall seemed impenetrable, a barrier that tested my will to continue. The only passage was a shimmering portal guarded by a mischievous sprite who demanded I answer a riddle correctly to proceed. The sprite's eyes twinkled with mischief, but there was a wisdom in its gaze that hinted at the importance of the challenge. The next, I was navigating a labyrinthine network of underground tunnels, their winding paths a maze of darkness and mystery. The tunnels were cold and damp, the air thick with the scent of earth and the sound of dripping water echoing through the silence. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and the sound of dripping water echoing through the darkness. Each step was a test of my courage, the shadows playing tricks on my mind.
Each challenge tested not only her intellect, but also her empathy and compassion. The forest seemed to know her heart, presenting her with situations that required her to look beyond herself and help those in need. She encountered talking animals in need of assistance, their eyes pleading for help. These creatures, each with their own story and struggles, taught Emma the importance of kindness and the impact of her actions. Magical creatures sought her understanding, their ancient wisdom guiding her through the forest's mysteries. They shared secrets of the forest, revealing the interconnectedness of all living things. Lost souls yearned for her guidance, their ethereal forms a reminder of the past and the lessons it held. Emma's compassion shone through as she offered comfort and direction, helping these souls find peace. Through every encounter, Emma learned the true meaning of kindness and the power of her own inner strength. The forest's magic seemed to respond to her growing confidence, the path ahead becoming clearer with each step.
Lumi, my loyal companion, remained by my side, offering encouragement with a gentle chirp or a comforting nuzzle of its soft fur. Lumi's presence was a constant source of comfort, its small form a reminder that even the smallest beings can have the biggest impact. Together, we faced the unknown, our bond deepening with each passing challenge. Lumi's unwavering support gave me the strength to push forward, no matter how daunting the obstacles seemed.
The book, its pages turning with each step Emma took, served as both guide and protector, its magic weaving a path through the mystical landscape. The book's ancient wisdom was a beacon of light in the darkness, its pages filled with knowledge that guided Emma on her journey. Each page turned revealed new insights, new challenges, and new opportunities for growth, making the book an invaluable companion on her quest.